So, how do you stop thinking about food all the time? Well, I used to be 320 pounds and food consumed my mind. I was living to eat, actually. Literally, the only reason I lived was to eat.
I am kind of curious and a little bit suspicious of people who don't love food and don't, prioritize it.
I've studied something. I've studied skinny people because
Mhm.
I'm very curious about them. How are they so skinny all the time? I see them eating a lot of
I'm
things.
curious about
I'm
them too.
just like baffled. And I learned something. Sometimes, not all skinny people are like this, but usually they're really busy. They're really busy. They're doing a lot of things with their hands, they're moving a lot, and they're not like eating all day long. And then I noticed something different. When I see overweight people, they're usually sitting down a lot more, they're snacking a lot more, they open the fridge a lot more, they're talking about food a lot more, they're consuming a lot more larger portions. And it's true that when I'm super busy and I'm like really into my life and really excited about what I'm doing, I'm not thinking about food.
It's true.
I do forget about food.
Have you ever heard of something called a conditioned response?
Yeah.
So I think having a conditioned response is also part of this equation. And I don't disagree with you, but I don't think people should overly busy themselves
No,
just
I'm
to
not.
think about food.
No, I'm not. I'm just saying it's
Is
something I noticed.
no, absolutely. I mean, there's so many things.
But I do, but that my point was actually, I like where you're going with that. My point was that we should be doing productive things instead of thinking about food all the time. That was my point because I think that we avoid things sometimes and just think about food as like a coping mechanism, like you said,
Yeah.
conditioned
You
response.
do need to think about food, especially if you're on a processed food diet and you want to get healthier and lose weight. You're going to need to still focus a lot on food until you got that handled. Like, for example, there's a member in our group who is eating less processed food. She does not have it handled. She needs to think about food. She needs to plan. She needs to prepare. She needs to really think about it a lot. Now, we have another member in the group who has it handled. And frankly, she really isn't thinking about food that much anymore because she's just doing what she needs to do. So she's planned and prepared.
She's really busy.
And but there was this process. So I think that not thinking about food until you've got it handled, it could be a big mistake. Like stepping over, I need to figure out how to make healthy food taste great. I need to master 4 recipes this week or this month that I love and that I enjoy and that are going to satisfy me. And that is a worthy aim. And so you need to think about food enough to be able to get yourself on track and then kind of back off the pedal.
That's a great point. So I think one of our favorite, like always go-to strategies and hacks is meal prepping. When you meal prep on a Sunday and you think about food on a Friday and your grocery list and you get excited about what you're going to cook and then you do all the meal prep on the weekend, then you don't have to spend all week thinking about food. You can be so busy and working and getting your steps in and making people awesome lives, whatever. Just having great relationships and not thinking about then that's so true. Literally so true.
If you ever wanted to know.
Then you have an amazing week and you're never thinking about food. You just pop it in the oven and you're done.
And I love to think about food as my creative outlet. So for me, it's I get inspired at the grocery store or the farmer's market, and I want to make this, and oh, what about that? And oh, I see that, So
But that's really fun. I love that you do that.
yeah, it's my palette. Like if I were a
It takes
painter,
3.5 hours, but then I love it.
sometimes it takes me a long time. It's true.
It's okay. I spend 3.5 hours baking every morning. It's fine. Have our things.
For sure, for sure. But I think the mindset hack is multifaceted. It's minds because what I think the mindset hack is multifaceted. One thing that science has proven is that your gut microbiome, your belly, your large intestine, is connected to your brain. We know this is true. And we've seen that through the rehabilitation of your gut microbiome health, you lose anxiety and you lose depression. So if you're depressed and anxious and obese, just know that your gut could be the source of that, and that willpower will only go so far. So what I'm suggesting is that by addressing your gut health and by addressing your lifestyle and your choices, you're going to kill a bunch of birds with one stone, so to say. And focusing on food and being willing to change your mindset around healthy food tasting great is an essential mindset shift that I believe will help you in a number of different ways: in reversing chronic disease, in resolving your obesity from the inside out, in reducing food noise in completely changing your life, frankly.
If you're a woman and you're ready to change your life and you're ready to change your mindset, then we would love to have you in our Women's Accountability Group. We also have an online program. It's just me and Mom. Every week we have our live coaching calls on Mondays where we get to talk to you and chat with you and coach you and all the good things. So if you're like, yeah, I would love to be part of a group that holds me accountable, then you're in the right place. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and we will see you all the time.